gland is a retroperitoneal.
Dog, ano yun, dog?
Okay, the prostate gland is a retroperitoneal organ that encircles the neck of the bladder and the urethra and weighs approximately 20 grams. So the normal prostate gland measures around 3 to 4 centimeters in diameter, and on cut section, the normal prostate gland would appear uniform. No? There are no nodularities. It would look as if it's smooth. Now this is a transverse section. The white arrow shows you the anterior aspect where the central urethra is, and then this one would be your left lateral lobe, and this one would be the right lateral lobe, and then here would be the posterior lobe. Okay lang? Okay lang kayo? Okay, so the regions, the prostate gland is divided into 4 anatomic and biologically distinct zones. So first you have the peripheral zone, and then you have the central zone, and the transitional zone, and the region of the anterior fibromuscular stroma. Note that your urethra traverses the prostate gland. So any problem or a pathology in the prostate gland usually presents with symptoms of obstructive uropathy. Now the histology of your prostate gland, you have it is composed of compound tubuloalveolar glands, with some glands showing papillary enfoldings, and these glands would be separated by a fibromuscular stroma. So the proportion of your, normally the proportion of your tubuloalveolar glands and the fibromuscular stroma in a normal prostate, no? Normally na nga, normal prostate is almost equal. Okay, so almost 50-50 sila. Now looking closely, the glandular lining epithelium has intact base, has a distinct basement membrane, and it is made up of 2 layers of cells. Okay, the basal layer would be cuboidal, and the one that is exposed to the lumen would be columnar. Okay, this would be columnar secretory cells. If you would look at here, okay, the columnar would have secretory cells about that cytoplasm. It's tall. Okay, distinct basement membrane. And also, you can see yung may papillary enfoldings. Okay, and then you can see your laminated concretion, what you call your, ano siya? Alala nyo? Corpora angulacea. It's fine. Okay, so now we go through the one of the first slide would be our benign prostatic hyperplasia. Okay, or this is also referred to as your nodular hyperplasia. This is the most common benign prostatic disease in men, particularly older than age 50, and 90% of men by the age of 80 years old would have histologic evidence of benign prostatic hyperplasia. Now, your benign prostatic hyperplasia is not a malignant lesion. Okay, or it's not a pre-malignant lesion. It doesn't mean that when you have benign prostatic hyperplasia, makakaroon ka na it will become, it is a pre-malignant lesion. It's not. In the pathogenesis, the ultimate cause is unknown, but it is believed that it is related to the accumulation of your dihydrotestosterone, which is the main androgen in the prostate. Okay, so grossly, as we have mentioned, it's usually around 20 grams, 3 to 4 centimeters diameter. Now, if in benign prostatic hyperplasia, this would increase, the size would increase or would become enlarged by 3 to 5 folds. weighing around 60 to 100 grams. Now, benign prostatic hyperplasia almost exclusively affect the transitional zone. Okay? So, the transitional zone, yun yung nakabalot doon sa, diba? Naka-envelope ng urethra. So, that's the reason why, again, if you have benign prostatic hyperplasia, your patient can present with urinary obstruction. Okay, and then histologically, the urethra would just like be a slit-like opening. Okay, ito, inano na niya ang prostate, ang urethra. Here is an example, a gross section of a prostate gland with BPH. Okay, so you can see they don't have the normal prostate, don't have nodules, but the benign prostatic hyperplasia would be nodular. Okay, they would have hyperplastic nodules, and they would vary in color and consistency, and the nodule that contains mostly glands would appear parang spongy. Okay, ayan. They would have, and then if you press, they can exude white prostatic fluid. Okay, but those that are predominantly fibrous would be pale and firm. Okay, so ito naman to siya. Pwede siya maging, ayan, ano siya, yung urethra. Okay? Compress siya, naging slit-like lang siya. Okay, histologically, microscopically, what you can see in your benign prostatic hyperplasia, that again, you can see the nodules, and the nodules would contain variably sized, some of them or many of them would be cystically dilated glands. Okay, and in between the glands you would have the fibrous stroma. Okay, so notice yung glands niya would appear crowded, still lined by the two layers of cell, but the two layers would be parang crowded siya. Okay, yung layers niya crowded, more prominent papillary enfoldings, and again you can see the corpora melacea. Okay, now itong papillary enfoldings na ito would be your clue, and your corpora melacea would be your clue that you're looking at the benign lesion, because the corpora melacea and the papillary enfoldings are not seen in malignant lesions. Okay, so this is what you see in your slide box for your the virtual microscopy library. Okay, you can see that it's crowded. Okay, it's nodular. Ayan pala, meron pala akong. Okay, it's crowded, it's nodular. Okay, the glands inside are variably sized, many of which are cystically dilated. In this slide, the glands have very prominent crowding of your papillary enfoldings. Okay. So this is another area. Again, you can see the glands. Okay, enfoldings. So this slide is predominantly glandular. Okay, predominantly glandular with minimal intervening fibrous stroma, prominent enfoldings. Ayan, cannot appreciate the two layers of cell because of naging pink na lang siya. Okay? But there is increased number of glands, minimal fibromuscular stroma again. But this is not always the case, ha? Remember kanina sinabi natin sa gross, those that are predominantly glandular would have spongy appearance by the gross, would have cystic spaces, okay, would exude milky fluid. But if it is predominantly fibromuscular, it would appear fair. Okay, so you have to look at the slides because may dalawang klaseng slides tayo sa boxes. Okay? Meron itong isang box wherein the fibromuscular stroma is the one that is increased. Okay, isang portion lang ang meron siyang nodule ng may gland. Okay? So, pwedeng ganyan. Okay, next slide would be your prostatic adenocarcinoma. So your prostatic adenocarcinoma or adenocarcinoma of the prostate is the most common form of cancer in men. It's the second most common cause of cancer-related death in men because the first most common would be lung cancer. Okay. Prostatic adenocarcinoma is largely a disease of aging. Based on studies, the incidence of prostatic cancer increases from 20% in men in their 50s, and this would increase to approximately 70% between the ages 70 to 80 and 80 years old. Other environmental factors would include family history, environmental factors like high-fat diet, obesity, and alcohol intake. And then also the survival and growth of prostate cancer cells depends also on the androgens. Okay, so here, saan dito ang ano? Obviously, prostatic adenocarcinoma to, kaya na na-topic. O, saan dyan? Yan. Okay? Nandyan ang CA. So, dito walang problema kasi naka-ano man siya. Naka-label. Okay, so nandyan daw yung benign prostatic, tapos kasama siya ng prostatic carcinoma. So, that portion, dito sa prostate na ito, this is a tumor showing a unifocal tumor. While here, there is a multifocal tumor. Okay? So, theoretically, the tumor or carcinoma would be described as yellowish, solid, and firm. Okay? Saan dito? Saan to galing? Ang picture? Sa internet. Okay. Anyway. Tapos na kayo ng lecture ng mail? Ongoing. So, hindi pa kayo nag-abot sa carcinoma. Tapos na pala. Iba na ang picture sa Robins? Hindi na ito? O wala na ang picture sa Robins? O wala na kayo nagtingin ng libro? Ang pinag-aralan kay Rinaldo. Okay, so ang tumor ito. So ditong portion na ito, BPH pa to. Okay? So, ang location niya more of the posterior aspect. Okay, solid, sabi niya, solid gray white appearance. Spongy appearance ito, benign ito ng portion ng spongy appearance. Okay. So, theoretically, your prostatic adenocarcinoma would have variable morphology depending on the differentiation Okay, the diagnosis of a well-differentiated tumor is composed when it is composed of well-formed glands, and this pag well-diff siya, well-formed glands, it's very difficult to diagnose because sometimes nga mag-overlap siya with the features of benign lesions. Okay, so what are the features that would favor malignancy? Okay, when the glands are smaller, okay, and then they are lined by single uniform layer of cuboidal cells or low columnar cells because wala na silang basal cells. Okay, aside from that, the glands would also be closely packed. Okay, and then sabi natin kanina wala siyang papillary infoldings. And then the poorly differentiated is when there is no glandular structures. Okay, the tumor cells would be infiltrating the fibromuscular stroma. It can be closely packed, pwede din siya in columns. Okay, so theoretical yun siya. So this is what you see in your slide box. Claro? Okay, so basically the entire tissue is almost infiltrated by the tumor cells. Okay, guess, benign, malignant. Ano to? Differentiation. Okay, what's the differentiation of the tumor? It's so alam na natin, it's prostatic adenocarcinoma. What's the differentiation? Well diff? It's poorly diff. Okay? Kasi this is the closer view. The tumor cells are in solid nests or in columns. Okay, compact. And then you cannot see or you cannot appreciate the glandular differentiation. Okay, so sabi dito, the individual tumor cells have abundant, pale or clear eosinophilic cytoplasm. Okay, so yan sa isang cell. Tapos abundant, pale eosinophilic cytoplasm. Okay, nuclei are large and ovoid with prominent nucleoli. So basta ano man, pag nakakita kayo ng ganyan, yan na yan. Okay, so walang well-diff. So pag meron may makita kayong infoldings, papillary, prostatic, or purpura amylacea, BPH. Okay, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Okay, pag tumor cells infiltrating the fibromuscular stroma, no glands, based on the cells, based on the slide lang that you have, kaya man ang inyong aim, no, ma-identify lang yung slide microscopically. Okay? So, it's prostatic adenocarcinoma. So, the most important prognostic factor in prostate cancer would be the grade and the stage. Na-encounter nyo to kanina sa lecture. Okay? The grading is performed using the Gleason system. This Gleason system would stratify the prostatic cancer into 5 grades. Grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The grade 1 would be the well-differentiated and wherein you can still appreciate the small uniform glands, okay, that is closely packed, and then the grade 5 would be the poorly differentiated, wherein the tumor cells no longer would show glands or they would lack the glands, and would the tumor cells would appear in sheets or solid nests. Okay, and then the rest in between. So ito, kung i-Gleason nyo to, anong Gleason niya? Slide nyo to. Five. Tinuruan kayo paano mag-Gleason score? Hindi. Okay. Run through lang tayo. shortcut na ano. When you scan through the slide, you have to identify, because in one specimen, in one prostate, hindi yan siya lahat poorly diff, hindi yan siya lahat well diff. Okay, mixed yan siya. So, when you evaluate the prostate gland, you look at the most aggressive and the, kumbaga yung pinakapangit and the predominant. Okay? So, in this slide, ang pinaka-aggressive, kasi poorly diff man siya, so 5. Since wala siyang ibang kasama, kaya 5. So, ang Gleason score mo would be 10. Okay, kung kunwari, meron dito, meron siyang moderately diff, merong portion na may konting nag-a-attempt mag-form ng glands. Okay, kunwari, ano natin siya as 3. So, maging 3 plus 5, ang Gleason score niya would be 8. Okay, shortcut lang yan. Hindi yan siya yung thorough na paano mag-evaluate. Basta ganun ang pagkaano niya. Okay, so, pag tinanong kayo, Gleason score, 10. Okay, 5 plus 5, 10. Okay. Okay, the third slide would be yung a slide of a testicular tumor. So your testicular tumor is the most common cause of painless testicular enlargement. Okay? So whenever you have a testicular mass, you should always, or when your patient, hindi ikaw pala, when you're patient or when you're dealing with a testicular mass, you have to always to consider it as neoplastic. Okay? So, 95% of your testicular tumors would be germ cell tumors and the remaining 5% would be sex cord stromal tumors. So, most of your germ cell tumors are aggressive and the most common germ cell tumor would be your seminoma. Now, the sex cord stromal tumor are generally benign and their unequivocal criteria for malignancy is when they already have metastasis. So, yung germ cell, yung sex cord stromal tumor, kung wala siyang metastasis, you cannot call it as malignant. You cannot be definite that it's malignant. You have to have metastasis to confirm that it is malignant. So your seminoma can occur in a pure form or can be part of a mixed germ cell tumor. So the fixed incidence of seminoma is the third decade. And it does not occur before puberty. It almost never occur in infants, and it is rarely seen in the elderly. Grossly, the seminoma would appear well circumscribed, okay, pale, fleshy, homogeneous, without hemorrhage or necrosis. So yun yung mga keywords ng seminoma. Painless, kasi testicular tumors are painless. Okay, well circumscribed, no hemorrhage, no necrosis. Okay, theoretically, your seminoma would show sheets of tumor cells divided into poorly demarcated lobules. Ayan. And then yung lobules are separated by septa, fibrosepta that is infiltrated with reactive lymphocytes. Okay? So the individual tumor cells would have large distinct cell borders. Yan, distinct cell borders, and then abundant cytoplasm, prominent nucleoli. Okay? Pero mahirap siyang i-identify, no, kung yan lang ang basis mo. Okay? to diagnose it as seminoma, you have to have this lymphocyte, reactive lymphocyte within the septa, delicate septa. Okay, so here again, very pink. Okay, this is what you see in your slides. Identify niyo naman to noon, di ba, sa the first SEM. Okay, so you have here a normal testicular tissue, and then here would be your tumor. Okay, looking at it closer, ito yung tumor cells. Okay, round cells, nodular, irregular borders. Tapos in the septa, you would have lymphocytes. Okay, fibrosepta, you would have lymphocytes, your reactive lymphocytes. Okay, that's the last slide. Tapos na, kumain pa silang pumasok. Okay, so, yan. Okay, sa seminoma, ang palatandaan nyo, you would have round cells, tapos meron siyang thin, irregular fibrosepta na may lymphocytic infiltrates. Okay? So, ito yung round cells mo, meron kang fibrous, tapos yan ang lymphocytes mo. Okay? Mahalata man ang ano ba, kasi large yung cells mo, tapos yung inyong lymphocytes maliliit. Okay? Paano siya differentiate sa plasmacytoma? Okay, sa plasmacytoma wala kang lymphocytes. Tapos, of course, plasmacytoma eccentrically located nuclei. Dito, hindi naman eccentrically located ang nuclei mo. Okay? Okay. Theoretically, again, pwedeng side question, immunostain ng seminoma, it's positive for CD117 or your c-KIT, and then also positive for placenta-like alkaline phosphatase. Okay, so yan. Negative for alpha-fetoprotein, and then 15% of your seminoma would contain syncytial trophoblast. Tapos kung may syncytial trophoblast, then it can be HCG positive. Okay, prognosis would be generally favorable. Okay, female counterpart na seminoma is germinoma. So, common din na siya sa side question. Okay, so that's the last slide, seriously. Okay, tapos may magsunod na. Meron pa isa magsunod. So wait for the next presenter.
Female 13, 1-3.
Oh, better than last
Dili na, imposible na na belote. 16 all in all. Fighting!
Dapat Shane, anong ginagawa ko daw? Anong ginagawa ko daw?